This is Dada Village, home of legendary skillful pottery, and in this video, we are going to be exploring it. Dada Village is nestled in the heart of Kwara State, Ilorin, and stands out for its unique blend of tradition and craftsmanship, Dada Pottery. Dada Pottery Community, a congregation of more than 100 women, is located at Okelele quarters in Ilorin East Local Government, Kwara State, and is one of the 37 wonders of Nigeria. In trying to locate it, a good place to start is Oja Oba Market, and being our first time heading here, my team and I found ourselves asking for directions severally. Entering the community, we were welcomed with the beautiful sight of craftsmanship. Almost every home were into the pottery craft, designs of pots, plates, cups, piggy banks, and many more. Entering into the village, we saw some men weaving clothes. The cloth weaving is also common here, but more of pottery. Being a village, there were several corners here, but we finally found an elder to talk to. We introduced ourselves and asked for direction to meet the chief potter in order to commence our interview. Finally, we sighted the chief potter and we walked up to her. She asked a few questions before giving us her attention.
What is your name?
Mama shows us the material used for molding those clay pots.
This one is onion. Onion and clay are siblings. Wherever you see onion, that is where you will see clay. Clay is at the upper part before coming across onion. Once you bring clay from the farm, you will spread it to dry up. After drying up the clay, we put it in this bowl in 2 pieces. Thereafter, we put it inside water for 5 minutes each. It could be longer because clay sand differs in thickness. This is the one we put inside water that has dissolved. Then we will use onion to mix it. After mixing it down, depending on the portion needed for each person, then you begin to mold to the desired design. Anyone that doesn't form among it can be removed. That is if you mix stone with it. You see, it is now working like this.
Mama proceeds to demonstrate how she uses the clay.
Mama, Emma Bilumoni Berry.
We want to move something of that side. So do we have to find a structure that is of the same size of what we want to mold before we can be able to mold it?
Okay.
Mama, please, can you mix clay and that to make something small like a cup for us to see? No, not to take home, just for us to see how it is being done.
Whatever you want to buy is available if it is something you want to take home.
No, not something we'll take home. It will be with you. It's just for us to see how it is being made.
Like this one, it will take a time for you to make it. Well, I just show you some things. You will check other pot production they are doing too.
Is this ash?
Yes, it is ash.
She shows us piggy bank and other different shapes of pottery designs.
This one is used to light up the house, depending on how big the house is. They put palm oil or shea butter, which is an alternative to butter in those days. And that is what they put on the plate, then with thread to light up the house. This is what is being used before the advent of candle. This is a clay coal pot.
Here we see the coal pot design used for cooking. One thing worthy of note is when you come to this place, you have to be careful where you place your feet so you won't break some things because there are pottery everywhere. He asks about the design on some of the pots. Her reply is that sometimes they don't know the meaning of the design on it. She said people from Osun State requested for the designs on those pots. Most times they are contracted to do it, and once you bring the design, they are so skillful that they will give you the design you want, and they can create anything with clay. Once the designs are ready, this is where they bring it for firing, further sorting and display. Mama strolls back to where she was working and tells us we can go around to just look at the designs. These are dried pots about to be fired, so they're well arranged. You can see the women arranging them here, about to set fire, fixing the firewood, different places under, beside and on top of the arranged pots. Coming back to the chief potter who went back to doing her work, we asked her a few questions. One of the questions we asked was, why was it women only we saw doing this? And her response was that men and women, young and old, were born into this, but it is often women who do this, while the men focus more on the cloth weaving, as they all cannot be doing the same thing. We asked about the sales of the pottery. We noticed it is so much in this village. Is it just Ilorin people that buy from them, or there are other people who they sell to? Her response was that they have a lot of patronage, not just from Nigeria, but from other parts of the world. And even just the previous day, the foreigners came. That so all the spots, it is not just Ilorin, it is Ilorin and beyond, and even Nigeria and beyond. We asked the challenges they face in this type of work, and her response was that the major challenge they face is the rainy season. Like this time of the year, when the rain starts falling, they cannot produce in mass because they cannot dry their pots. It just distorts their production process. Another challenge she highlighted was that people were beginning to shift from this pot to banga pot. This pot still has an advantage over banga pot to an extent, because banga pot, when used to boil rice, it doesn't come out white. It comes out reddish brown, while this pot boils the rice and it comes out pure white. So some people still prefer this over banga pots, and when there is shortage for banga pots, they still come back to get more of this. While we were asking Mama these questions, the clay suddenly fell apart, and it was quite interesting to see how she was able to solve this challenge. She calls for assistance from two young ladies, and they came to help her hold it while she tries to fix it. Not only the efforts, the skill she employed in trying to solve this challenge is so commendable. From my own professional view, I thought that she was going to, dismantle that part that fell off and squeeze it and start all over again. But the way she was able to merge it back and it still stayed firm is commendable. Here she rolls a corn stick around the body and it's creating a pattern on it. Now 3 other ladies join her to lift it up since she's done with it so it can start drying. We commended how active she was. At her age, she went in different positions just to get her work done. Looking at the pots, we saw different designs. Some were designed with red color, and we asked why was it red? What material was she using to design it? And then she pointed to a pot where red clay sand was there, and she said that is what they used to design the pots.
In fact, she didn't exclude her children as much as we are, if not for the cost she laid down. And whoever reversed the cost already knows whatever he asked. For her not to exclude her children as much as we are grandchildren. So, once they study the work, they get to know without anyone teaching them. When they are playing around with it, that is how they gradually get to know about the pottery. There is no need for anyone teaching them.
Mama, thank you for giving us your attention. Thank you for responding to our questions and, not looking at us that these are small children and you will not listen to us. Thank you so much.
We too, we have children. This one we are showing you, they didn't show us. They only showed us soap and pan, black soap and pan. It's not as if they taught us anything. We do not have this privilege.
Mama, do you face challenges in getting clay for your work?
We know how to find clay and where to get it.
Mama, you see the white culture that we've imbibed as Africans, and we dress like them, we do things like them, and we appreciate them. Is there a way to get them to adapt to our own craft and beauty? Like this pottery, do you even have foreigners patronizing you, or do you get buyers patronizing you from abroad? Because some foreigners still come to Nigeria to get some things. Do you get that kind of patronage?
Well, whatever they see there and they come and buy them. Like yesterday now, some foreigners came to buy some pottery. Even the one we are presently making is for one of them that usually come. Some will even come and spend 2 Sundays or a month. They usually come to check how things are being done. Even one requested we give her a name, and we named her Ashabi. She spent 3 days. Like that flower vase. She met me doing it. She said they also have clay in their country. But when she was in her elementary school, our teacher came here. And when he returned, he showed them this place in a video. Our poetry production process, everything. She then told her parents what they will help her do later on in future. So it was all our family members that contributed for our trip to Nigeria. She landed at the airport around 4 p.m. She said she came here first before lodging at the hotel. And she was so surprised to see all what she saw in the video then. Those that came then must have given birth to children as old as you now, because that lady was in her elementary class. These people we are talking about must have become grandmothers, because the babies we were carrying then are now adults, even bearing children. But this lady that came already told her parents years ago about the responsibility her parents will help her to carry. She said all the cameras and gadgets she brought was from money contributed by her parents. Immediately she came here, that was where she parked her car, and she carried me up, she lifted me up and said she can meet the company like this. Since it's a cultural heritage, so foreigners do come. They came yesterday too. This is what we do. This is where God created us. If they bring the modern one, we also make it, we also produce it. And it is our own traditional one, we can also make it, because the world is evolving. No, the world is evolving. Anyhow they bring it, we'll make it for them.
Mami, ẹjọ irú ìyànjú olè wa lè gba irú àwa tí a jẹ́ bí like ọmọ.
Mama, what advice do you have for our generation? Our people our generation don't value pottery, and this our arts and craft. They really don't value it. What they focus on other things and just leave this side alone. But what advice do you have for them?
You know, each family has their cultural heritage. If those that bet us threw this away, and we also neglected it, we also threw it away, there's nothing you will meet today. There's nothing to show you today. So when it comes to cultural heritage, everyone should go and fix it. If they fix it, they will have modernized one and traditional one. Compared to if everyone neglects their family or cultural heritage. You see the rich people using money to buy job for their children. The rich people are using money to buy jobs for their children, and God sees all of us. We are not equal. All fingers are not equal. There was a time the blacksmiths wanted to strike. They wanted to stop production. But now, blacksmiths is not a good job. They are not making money. Also, the sculptors are also doing well. Likewise, we have lots of cultural heritage in diverse ways. In those days, when we also ran from this one we are doing, we left it for our mothers. We decided to go and sell. We decided to venture into already made dress. We go to Lagos, Ibadan, and later on we return to our cultural heritage. And God's goodness has been good with us. Here we are. So one should not neglect their cultural heritage. It is a good one. That's what we are doing, and that's where we are.
So one of my team members asked if there was a taboo in this craft, something that should not be done, and she asked if there were Muslims among us, and she has her reason for asking. She further explained that there is no taboo for her because she has her faith, Islam, that she believes in, and she does everything with a clear mind. She lets her craft take over. She do a very good job for her clients, and whatever they decide to do with the work of art she did, it's up to them and their conscience. But her, she's an artist and she is just doing her work, so she does not feel there's any taboo for her. But that does not mean that some people would not patronize her and use it for something else. But she does not ask, what are you using it for? She just creates her craft. Here, a young lady is making a pot, and how they're able to get circular shape without any mistake. Finally, a part we've been longing to witness. They arranged pots as a mini tower. They lit fire and fixed pan on it for it to get the proper heat it needs. Going closer to the pots being heated, we could feel the heat. It was so intense. We proceeded to ask some more questions from the other women into the pottery, and here we met this woman. She was busy making a pot, a small pot with the cover. This community is so rich in this culture, to the extent that even where they lay their firewood to prepare their food, instead of using stone like other people would use, they use clay pots face down. We asked this woman why some of the pots are black and how they got the black color. Her reply is that once it's fired, it's dipped in sawdust and then dropped to cool down, and it gets black.
It's even thicker. Yeah. It should be.
One of us asked about a pot that is used for premature babies, and she replied that there's hospitals that use that. She continued with her craft, and we watched her for a while making a smaller version of the pots. Looking at more designs of the craft, the piggy banks, and we saw clays, different types of clays on the floor. It is just basically a village of pottery. Here, this woman set fire on the smaller pottery, like the covers and the smaller pots.
Okay, sawdust.
She is explaining here that it is the sawdust that makes it to be black in color.
Sawdust àti kílẹ̀ tó máa ń lò. So the sawdust àti nìkan náà ni.
Yes, it is carob seed that is used to make low-cost beans.
She further explained why some of the pots are very black, how they attain that color. First, when they heat their dried clay, when they burn it on fire, they remove it and mix in the sawdust. Then they put it inside water, boiled with carrot seed, iba, and the leaves. We thanked the women and we bid goodbye. And while going, we just covered some of the pottery works, like the plates. The pottery makes the village so beautiful and unique. On our way out, we saw a bus that is loading the pottery works for delivery. It is worthy of admiration for our tradition passed through generations to be maintained, and the men focusing on weaving while the women focusing on pottery. It's a pride to Ilorin, and not just Kwara State, to Nigeria as a whole.